There are concerns that could lead to an early playoff exit for the Cubs. Let's go.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy, and enough with the boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Go to 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today. The Cubs got swept by the Reds in a 4-game series, losses by scores of 1-0, 7-4, 6-3, and that's right, 1-0. The Cubs are now 88-68 on the season, only 6 games remaining in the regular season. The wild card series awaits on September 30th, likely against the Padres. We'll go over the wild card standings later, also some top concerns. As the Reds, meanwhile, storm back in this race. Sam, the Cubs have already clinched a playoff spot. They did that Wednesday. But to drop all 4 games right after was a very unpleasant surprise this weekend.
Was it?
It was a major buzzkill.
Yeah, it was a buzz. It was a buzzkill. I wouldn't call it a shocker. This team, for 4 months is just some ups followed by downs, some ups followed by downs. The great Jeff Carr over at Locked On Reds, I expect a holiday gift from him of some sort, because the Cubs, assuming the Cubs do bounce back and take a couple from the Mets, that they basically just, walk the Reds right into the playoffs. The NL
would
Central
be in today. Yeah.
The NL Central, the division of champions. But, look, it's just a really tough lineup to watch. The
offense is putrid.
I don't even know how really angry I am. I mean, if you were to tell me that in late September, the lineups Horner, Happ, Suzuki, Kelly, Santana, Swanson, Turner, Bush, Alcantara, you're missing some key guys. And obviously I know it was a lefty, so Pete didn't play, and they did some platooning and whatnot, but go back, watch our episodes from the offseason. This team was meant to be built around a star player. And we could sit here and debate whether Kyle Tucker is that or not with the season that he's had, but we can't debate that the Cubs are a better lineup when he's in it. And I don't know how much more you could ask from Nico and Dansby and Happ. We know those guys, right? We know, especially Dansby and Happ. We know their limitations. They are not the type of players that could carry you for months and months at a time. They've held down the fort. They've done what they needed to do. Pete and Seiya haven't hit in months. Bush is finally starting to show some signs of life, which is great. But you need other guys. And without him in the lineup, I mean, we've said this, it's just hard to take this team seriously offensively. Tyone pitched great on Sunday. Imanaga was all right.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Saad, fine. Ray pitched great.
It's outstanding.
But it's just, we always talk about floors and ceilings, and this team's ceiling feels like, you're at when you stand up and the ceiling's touching your head, unless Kyle Tucker comes back.
Right. They bumped their head, and they need to mop the floors as well.
I mean, how far can a team go? Suzuki's hitting third. He hasn't hit a home run since, I don't even know, mid-August, early August.
Oh, I think you should hit us with a historical reference there.
I don't think Suzuki has hit a home run, since President Carter's administration. And I'll say this, Pete, this guy went into the All-Star break with 25 home runs, and he seriously might not get to 30.
Well, and as my dad reminded me earlier today, he ran the Cubs 5K today, by the way.
Oh, congrats.
Congrats to him. Seiya had, 80 RBI, runs batted in at the break, and now
Yeah,
he has
right.
like 87.
Yeah, and Illinois
It's
lost
something
90
along those lines.
And Illinois lost like 100-3. I mean, what's
wow.
their
That
season's
was
over. When we read FanDuel, I'll talk about that. Their whole secondary's out for maybe the season. So
The Cubs had not one but 2 stars for basically the whole first half. They lit up the box score. They were named starters to the All-Star team. And now one of them is out with no return date. And the other one is literally the worst hitter in the National League since August 2nd. You can look it up. I did it today.
Yeah, and it's like, look,
It's no wonder I feel, Sam, the offense would be the reason for the early exit. And it's no wonder when you break it down like we have just in the 5 minutes.
Yeah, and just from a strategic standpoint, because I do think these wild card games are going to be low and close. I just thought Council, I just want to just real quick, I know we're talking big picture. Can I just real quick just talk about how ridiculous?
Well, no, I did want to ask you about his decision-making, especially Sunday.
So 1-0, 7th inning on Sunday, nobody on, 2 out. You pinch hit Pete. Pete can't hit anymore for the most part, and you really want his legs off the bench. I immediately tweeted out, not hindsight thinking, immediately tweeted out, I'd rather, let's just do the math. What's Pete hitting lately? About 180. So there's about
it's around there, yeah.
And his on base is, let's say, 200. So there's about a 20% chance he gets on base with nobody on, 2 out. Whereas you did feel like in the 8th or 9th, there's a good chance that somebody's going to get on, and then you could use Pete's legs to really maybe cause chaos, especially with a righty on the mound like Santian.
And that's what happened.
And it worked out. Ballesteros walked, and by the way, really concerning that Matt Shaw didn't hit or didn't run for Ballesteros there. So I hope he's okay. Yeah. But like for Pete there, that's a perfect spot. Just really odd managing there, and then he pinch hits Willie Castro for Turner, for Castro to hit from the left side. Is that really an upgrade? Willie Castro from the left side is basically Pete Crow-Armstrong's the last 2 months. I mean, it was really bad, but that's small stuff that we will analyze very, very deeply. Because let me tell you this, folks, and this will tie everything together, Matt.
Okay,
I don't want to hear in early October when we play the Padres, oh, well, it's not Council's fault because, the offense has to hit more. Just forget it right now. Those games are going to be 3-1, 2-2, 3-2, whatever they're going to be. Right. Late. It's all if they're not low-scoring games, it means probably not good for the Cubs. I can't imagine a world where this Cubs team, unless the conditions are really favorable, where they're going to put out 2 or 3 performances of 5+ runs. It just doesn't seem feasible.
Yeah, except for the fact that it would just be another cruel way to go out because they literally didn't score the last 2 playoff appearances, basically. And for a franchise that hasn't won a playoff game since 2017,
they will win one.
You see, 0 on the board, 1 on the board. I mean, 2018, 2020, maybe my math's wrong. 31 innings combined, they scored 2 runs.
That's correct.
So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's just so cruel.
How can we have any faith in this offense? You just, and I'm not letting the offense off the hook. I'm just saying you got to be, you got to be real about it. I mean, unless, this last week is really crucial for the Cubs to see some signs from Pete or Seiya, because as we're going to talk about soon, the Tucker stuff's getting bleaker and bleaker by the day.
All right, let's get into more of this right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Zippix Toothpicks. Whether you're looking for nicotine satisfaction or an energy boost, Zippix has you covered with their nicotine and caffeine-infused toothpicks. For nicotine users, Zippix provides a discreet way to satisfy cravings in the hand-to-mouth habit without vaping or smoking. Zippix can be a helpful tool as you work to reduce your dependence on vaping. Available in 6 great flavors with 2 milligrams and 3 milligrams nicotine options. And if you need energy without the crash, their caffeine toothpicks are a game changer. I've used the caffeine toothpicks before big meetings and long drives. They give me energy without the jitters, and the flavors like peppermint watermelon ice actually taste great. Go to zippixtoothpicks.com. Use code LOCKEDON for 10% off your first order. Must be 21 or older to order. Warning: Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That's ZippixToothpicks.com, promo code Locked On. Zip more, smoke less with Zippix toothpicks.
Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5 Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine in 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients, with zero sugar and zero crashes. What I love most is how portable they are. Big taste, tiny shot. You can take it anywhere and get that boost when you need it. I always reach for my favorite flavor, peach mango, because it's refreshing and it gives me that quick lift before a busy day of school, podcasting, family, and more. And throw out the boring, flavorless caffeine. Enough with it. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5 Hour Energy shots. Get the favorites you love or be bold and try something new in store and online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon today to try 5 Hour Energy shots. Shout out to the everydayers, and you can become a Locked On Cubs everydayer by joining us for every episode throughout the week. Since July 20th, the Cubs are 29-29. Offensively, since that day, they ranked 23rd in average, 17th in on base, 23 in slug, 26th in runs scored. In 58 games, they have averaged 3.9 runs per game. Sam, where do you want to go here? Because it's just hard to fathom them getting past, a 1 or 2, an opponent's bullpen that has all the relievers lined up. It's just what do you want to see this week to go, okay, yeah, maybe they could get past the Padres at least.
Well, make sure you play at home.
Yeah, that's they still need to lock up the home field advantage.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that, but the Padres now have the tie break, so you're 2.5 up. You got 2 to give. Okay. So, win a game or 2. That'd be great.
Well, win 3.
I think if you want to be positive, and by the way, we're going to be diehard Milwaukee Brewers fans this week, as they go to San Diego.
Oh wow.
The positive is that nobody really, the Padres aren't playing well either. So
yeah, they haven't been, especially
because let's call it like it is. About a couple weeks ago, we said, what's it going to take to get this top wild card spot? And we said, what, about 92? Is that where we landed? 93?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's probably at this point going to be 90, 91 because of how the Padres have played, maybe even less.
Well, they have 88 wins right now. They better win more than 2 games this week.
Well, if they go 2-4, they go 2-4, San Diego has to go 5-1.
Yeah, it's hard. You're right.
So, all you got to do is lose 2 of 3 at home to the Mets and win 2 of 3 at home against the Cardinals, and then they have to go undefeated. Wow. So to answer your question, how do they get past the Padres? Well, first, they got to play at home because if you combine having to go there and losing this insurmountable of a lead the last week, I'll say it right now, there's no way they win 2 of 3. No way. Shot. Yeah, no way. If this weekend proved anything, it was that urgency and momentum and stuff does matter. This was huge for the Reds. It didn't mean much to the Cubs. They won all 4. But, Matt, my top concern is Kyle Tucker. That's my top concern. That's my place to go. I can't believe this. Yeah,
there's really no updates, but if there are, then I would categorize them as just vague.
Yeah, it feels like, again, and this is, I got no inside info. I wish you did. I got no sources. It just feels like this is pretty obvious to me.
Which is what?
I'll use an analogy that kind of hits, it kind of doesn't, kind of relates, kind of doesn't. In the 2019 NBA Finals, Kevin Durant missed a long time with what they called a calf strain, and the Warriors were getting through the playoffs. Everyone's like, "Where's KD? Where's KD? Where's KD?" Now, basketball is a way different sport, right? And then finally, the Warriors got down 3-1 to the Raptors in that series, and Durant came back. And what had ended up happening? He ruptured his Achilles, right? And he was in a walk year. But the difference is in the NBA, because he's Kevin Durant, they still gave him a max contract, literally paid him, let's say, $50 million to not play that first year. I think what's happening here, and this is totally, I'm not insinuating anything negative about Kyle Tucker. Like this makes sense, right? I think he's in pain. His calf is bothering him, and there is concern of re-aggravating it or hurting it more seriously that would totally disrupt his free agency. And that's not to say that he's not tough. I just think my guess is if this was year one of a 10-year, $300 million deal, I bet you that he would be good to go. There'd be no concerns, because if he did get hurt, it's locked up. Am I out of line for thinking that? I don't think so. I really don't. And again, I want to reemphasize, I'm not calling out Kyle Tucker. I'm not saying, he cares more about the money than he does the Cubs. That's not the case. This is just a simple, logical decision you have to make of, hey, I feel like I might be able to go, but if there's a risk, because the calf and Achilles calf injuries could be serious. Mm-hmm. And if there's a serious risk of him going out there and re-aggravating it to the point where his availability next year is in question, he's already cost himself about $150 million by his play. And now he costs himself a contract where he may be looking at a 1 or 2 year deal. Like, these are massive things, and he's not this is his first year with the Cubs, and these are the risks rewards you get with somebody in their walk year. I do think that's a play here, because clearly he's hitting, he's fielding, he's just not running. And so that's my take. Do you feel like I'm out of line there?
I don't think you're out of line. I like the parallel to Durant. I hadn't heard that yet. It makes sense when you connect the dots that way and try to piece this together. I will say, 2 injuries 2 years in a row in which he missed time, I do think that his free agency's already been impacted.
For sure.
But to go from a calf strain to an Achilles, that would be major.
Right. And I'm not insinuating he would hurt his Achilles. I'm just insinuating that when you play hurt, sometimes you risk injuring things further. But your point's valid as well. If he doesn't come back, then the counter argument is, man, he missed some time. He played with a hand, and then all of a sudden now he missed out. Yeah. There's questions about his durability. So it goes both ways. I just think, from what I've heard from counsel, it sounds like they're waiting for him to be pretty close to pain-free when he's running. And I don't know if that's going to happen. So at some point, you're just going to have to make a decision and risk the benefits and the negative parts of it. That's all I'm saying. Again, I'm going to say it for a third time, because I take this really seriously. I never want to question a player's toughness. I'm not saying he's not tough. Like, I'm sure he wants to battle it out and he could play through it. But there's a lot of different voices at hand here. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong, and it's just a case of, hey, man, I can't go first to third, so I can't help us win. That could be it too.
It could, because if they're giving all these vague updates and he's down there in Tampa, he's going to return to Wrigley this week, they do more tests, it's just not working out, then it's not possible, which would be unfortunate. But absolutely, at this stage of the game, with him now out 3 weeks on Tuesday, there's absolutely other factors involved. We're getting this close to the finish line. A winter that is pivotal for him and the rest of his life. Yeah, it's very layered.
And with the way counsels described it, to me, and maybe I'm reading wrongly, it just feels like they're waiting for him to be able to run without pain. And
I think that sounds right.
And when you have like that, I don't know, that could take a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to more from the weekend right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Nutrafol. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, sure, Like that actually works. There are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. That's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. And it's not just hype. This is a supplement clinically tested that targets the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. Whether you're at work, out with friends, or even just getting ready in the morning, Nutrafol gives you more confidence in your daily routine, and you can feel good about knowing Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. See thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. You can identify that you aren't saving as much as you thought, like I identified, because all I do is spend money on food delivery services instead of driving the 7 minutes to go get the food. That stuff starts to add up. Maximizing investments, increasing your savings rate, easily reviewing finances with your partner and or advisor, keeping a clear view of your financial health week to week. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB.
Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Cubs. That way you don't miss any of the great Cubs content we've got for you, including the Cubs postcast with Joe George live after the final out of every game. And there's only 6 games left, plus the playoffs, which begins 9 days as we're recording, Tuesday, September 30th. Stay with us all postseason long and leading up to that this week. A lot in the hopper for that. We're definitely excited. And even despite the Cubs offense, Sam, I always had this confidence about the pitching. And you have one pitcher, Cade Horton, who's lighting it up. He's one of the best pitchers in the sport since the All-Star break, actually maybe even a little bit before the break, right around the 4th of July. Actually, I think it was the start you went to, right? You saw him pitch, right?
Yep.
Against the Guardians?
Yep.
Yeah, it was ever since then. But then their next 2 guys, Boyd and Imanaga, have not been sharp. And that's not an unfair statement. Here's Imanaga, who pitched this weekend, last 5 outings, 29 innings, 26 hits, 15 runs, great strikeout to walk ratio, 24-4, but he's given up 10 home runs. And yeah, I get it. He's a fly ball pitcher, but that's a result that matters. And as you peak to the weather next week, 70s and sunny. I don't know how Wrigley's going to play, but it's not going to be cold and blustery, I don't think, like we were thinking. And for these 2 dudes to not be sharp for a month, it's too bad, because I think they do have the bullpen that could be hot for a whole October, and they have an ace. Tyone and Ray have been good. Do they supplant these guys if they advance past the Padres? Man, it's just the timing's not great.
Yeah, I think with Imanaga, it's very condition dependent. I've said that a lot on this show. If the wind is doing him favors, he's a lead, and if it's not, it could be really tough. Mm-hmm. Boyd has been a concern now for a little while. Still feel like Boyd's got a good postseason start in him. I really do. I saw some people today and saying, hey, why not give Tyone the ball? No, don't do that.
Right.
I still think you got to start those three guys. I want to just make one more point I had in my notes about this Tucker thing because I really do think it's almost an under talked about story. It's a huge story.
You're on it. You're on this for sure.
Yeah. The other side of it, I just want to lay out all possible things, is that he tried to play through an injury earlier and he had horrible results. So that's the other side of it is he comes back and he's not feeling 100%. And it's, he really struggles playing, maybe he really struggles playing through this type of injury. That also is a part of it. So just, what I mentioned, just risk of further injury and what's coming in the future, the actual, maybe he just can't help the team. And then also, hey, I just tried to play through a hand, got myself into some really bad habits. Maybe I don't even help the team that much. Anyways, I digress.
Right. And, the compensation there hurt him at one point.
100%.
Yeah.
So a lot at stake, but yeah, look, I still think it's going to be, I think it's going to be Horton and then some combination of Boyd and Managa. You got at some point you have to go with what got you to the dance. You know what I mean?
Right. And
absolutely. Those three guys got you to the dance. And, I really do believe in the mental component from those two guys, Boyd and Managa. Like, I do think they're going to be good to go, like ready and locked in and figure out a way to at least keep the Cubs in the game.
Well, and I feel in a similar fashion about the offense. I don't expect them to make any adjustments this week. It's really more of the mentality and the approach.
Yeah.
And hopefully running into one or two, and maybe that sparks something. But yeah, I think a lot of this as we approach the playoffs is going to be more between the ears, I feel. I could see Horton and Managa now 1-2 with Boyd going 3 if they need it or leading off the division series. That's where I'm leaning towards right now.
Yep.
I think Ray's for sure on the roster. Tyone might even be on the roster just in case, given how he's pitched. I will say, for as much as I like Javier Assad, and his magic somehow being better the third time through the order, second time. I know he wouldn't pitch that much in the playoffs, but I do think his magic does scare me a little bit in a must-win situation.
Yeah.
And then Michael Busch, Sam, 30th home run Saturday. Is having a nice year. Swanson, nice year. Happ back to his numbers. Horner still periphery of a batting title. But really it comes down to PCA, comes down to Seiya.
Yep.
And, Tucker's whereabouts. Busch is only the 5th Cubs first baseman to reach 30 dingers. Can you name the other 4?
Oh, we're going to trivia here quickly. Boy, not in the trivia mode. Rizzo.
Yeah.
Did Fred McGriff do it?
Yes, he did.
Boy, first baseman. Grace never hit 30. Banks did it as a first baseman, didn't he?
He did. You only have one more.
Kingman didn't play first for them. First base. Dawson didn't play first. Billy Williams didn't play first.
30 home runs.
Yeah.
About him recently.
We talked a lot about him recently.
He's come up a lot in trivia or otherwise.
Can you give me like an era?
2000s.
Oh, well, this is embarrassing then. Oh my gosh, Derek Lee. Awful job by me.
Cubs are up 3
Sorry.
on the Padres, right? It's 3, right?
Yeah, 3-game lead. Look at it as a 2.5 game lead. Padres had the tiebreaker. Cubs literally clinch if they go 4-2 this week. If they go 3-3, the Padres have to go undefeated. That's the way you look at it.
Wow. Padres up 5 on the Reds. Reds are tied with the Mets, but the Reds have the tiebreaker. And as of this recording, the Diamondbacks are only a game and a half behind for the 3rd spot. So should be an interesting week, Sam.
Yeah, let's try and get hot again.
This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, we'll be back on the off day, a Monday off day, and then the last 6 games of the year. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
Shout out to Matt Cozy and Sam Olber, hosts of my favorite podcast, Locked On Cubs.